In this video, guys, we're going to look at 7 horrible downsides to trading that no one ever talks about. Hey traders, welcome to the video. All right, so 7 horrible downsides to trading that nobody ever speaks about or talks about. All they do is stand there in front of their Lambos, stand there in front of their Ferraris, their villas, this and the other. Listen, we're not naive enough to think that you know what money can buy you. If trading works well for you, then you can buy these physical things that supposedly make good Instagram pictures. There's no need to talk about it. It's like, okay, if you make £1 million, you can do whatever you want with it. If you want to buy a Lambo and have money spare, then you can do. If you make 100 grand, you can still buy yourself a Lambo and have nothing left. Well, you maybe can't quite buy the latest Lambo, but you can buy yourself a Lambo and have nothing left. But who's going to do that? Who's going to make 100 grand in trading, not to stick it back in and try and make 200, 300, 500? Anyway, going off on a little rant. The point is, guys, these are the 7 things that these guys won't tell you, and these are the truths. Number 1, pressure and stress. It's a high pressure, high stress job. That's it. There's no cutting through or sugarcoating it. You are there, you have to perform every day, even if you're a swing trader, day trader, whatever. You are constantly under pressure to perform. You can't defer responsibility for any of it to anybody else. You can't delegate any of it to anybody else. It's you, your capital, your performance. And that is something that you have to live with every day. The joy of, yes, you can walk in, make a trade, make a couple of grand, go down, do what you want, isn't the reality of it, guys. The reality of it is pressure, and there is potential stress in there. And let me just quantify the difference between the two. You know, pressure is good, right? Pressure means that you are under pressure to perform, and you will perform if you can rise to the occasion. Stress is when you're going a little bit too far and you're overdoing it. So there's a difference between the two. Right, number 2, self-evaluation. Something that you don't have to do very often in a lot of businesses or a lot of other jobs, if you like, is constantly evaluate yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you are running something, a business, and this isn't true for all businesses, because I think that self-evaluation is key to growth, whatever business you're running. However, in trading, it does specifically affect your bottom line. If you get angry easily, maybe you can get away with that by running a business. As long as you don't end up punching your employees or your clients, you're going to be okay. If you get angry easily when you're trading, that is fundamentally going to affect whether you're profitable or not. So that constant self-evaluation can get tiring, can become a drain, can become, quite frankly, horrible when you're permanently having to evaluate and adjust and tweak and stuff like that. So if you're not into that, then trading is not for you. If you like the process of it and are prepared to put up with the pressure and stress of it and the self-evaluation, then you're starting to get there. Number 3 is no control. I think this is a big one, guys. Many of us come from maybe they've been work, maybe they've run a business or whatever, and then come into trading like that. This is something where you have control. Right? If you think of, let's just use a couple of analogies. Use a business owner and then a pilot and a mechanic. Let's use 3 different things. Right? So a pilot has control. He's like, listen, if I do these specific things and these calculations, I will take off this plane safely and land it safely, and I've done my job, right? I've just got to follow the procedure. I've got full control of it. Yes, there are some anomalies that come out, but I've got procedures for that. I've got full control. Same if we go to a blue collar car mechanic, right? He wants to change the brake pads on a car. He knows that he's got to do this, got to jack up the car, do this, do the other. Yes, there might be some problems, but he has full control over what happens. A guy running a business, whether that is a restaurant, whether that is a garage, whether that is a marketing company or whatever, he's got a certain amount of control, i.e. if he generates a good steady flow of new customers and has a system for generating those, he knows that he's got a flow of new business. If he services those existing clients or customers well, he knows that they're going to pay him. He knows that a certain number are going to drop off. So there is a certain control. Is it easy to do? No, but there's a little bit more control over it as opposed to the market and trading where you don't have any control. The market could be completely wild one day, completely quiet the next. You have to basically give what you're given in the market. You can't kind of extract money that's not there. So you don't have as much control. Yes, you can control your actions, of course. And we talk about what you can control your risk. You can control this, control that. But you can't generally control, you know, how much money potentially could flow to you, whereas you do have some element of control with other businesses and other jobs. So number 4 is health. A lot of things people won't tell you guys, if you're sitting in front of the screen all day long, your eyesight, it's not great for your eyesight because of your focus. It's not great for your back either, sitting there. A lot of studies say that sitting is the new smoking. And of course, I recognize that it's going to be the same in a lot of jobs if you're in front of the screen. But because you're often very, very focused on little tiny minute movements, specifically for day trading, perhaps not so much for swing trading, but specifically for day trading, it can be, a big thing. You're sitting there constantly focused. You maybe, you're not sitting in a comfortable position. You're kind of holding yourself tense. This isn't good for your health if you're doing it for long term. So, and also know traders who, get in pretty bad shape from it because they're so focused on that, which is why, big advocate for at least balancing it out with some kind of activity, some kind of exercise. Number 5, financial pressure. If you're going to trading full time and you don't have another source of income, then the pressure to perform is massive. That's why I always advise, listen, run a business alongside, have your job alongside, do trading with it at least for a decent period of time so you can prove you don't have that pressure. It's hard enough to perform without the pressure of having to pay your monthly outgoings, your monthly bills, whatever they may be, than it is. It's hard to perform without that, let alone having that pressure as well. So always, if you're coming to trading, I always recommend having something else, not leaving your job just to go crazy and go trading until you're kind of at a point where, right, okay, I know I can do this. Even if I have a drawdown, I'm okay. I've got some money in the bank to live. Okay, right, fine. Keeping something, even a side hustle going, even a side business, something that hopefully covers your bills and stuff so you haven't got the financial pressure, because ironically, you will probably make more if you don't have that financial pressure. If you know you've got to make X amount per month to cover bills, then when you get to that amount, are you going to risk more to make more? You're probably not, right? You're going to say, well, I know my bills are covered. I need to, perhaps I'll just quieten down a bit and not risk it. Whereas if you've got them covered elsewhere from a business or a job, what have you, and you're okay, then you're going to press if the opportunity is there. You're going to say, well, it doesn't matter if I draw down because I don't need that money. I can press, and then you'll start really pressing when the time's right. And so you can be far more flexible without having that overhang on you. The consequences of loss become so much greater when you've got that financial pressure on. Number 6, growth is very uncertain. Guys, it goes like this, right? You might find a bit of growth and then you might draw down massively and undo all the hard work you've done. You might find a little bit more growth and draw down massively. Very, very different from a traditional business, generally speaking, where you may bring in clients and customers and revenue, and so you move up, maybe you have a little bit of a weak month, but you don't go down into negative. Okay, there are some examples when you might do, but then you might add more customers, clients, add more employees, grow, grow, grow. It's generally a kind of upward trend with a little bit of jaggedness in there. Trading can be, big up, big down, massive up again, massive down, stay down, massive up, and then it might smooth out. So it's very, very uncertain of how you're doing. Number 7 is no value. So the big one here is that trading is it's a job, basically. When you stop trading, unless you've created a fund that operates without you, or unless you've created some kind of system or strategy without you involved in it, and that has a value on its own, you have no value. As soon as you stop trading, you don't create anything. Unlike, let's say, a business that will have a value to it, it produces an income, and that asset has a value to it that can then be sold or whatever it can be. Trading, there's not it. So what traders will do is we will make money and then try to allocate that into businesses, try to allocate that into income producing assets. Some guys will spend it all, but the point is you're there to generate money, and then you know that if you stop trading, that completely stops. So unlike if you were putting that 4 or 5 year effort into building a business, if you pulled out of it, it'd still have some assets, still some value, and hopefully someone else could step into it, because that's the point of running a business. So being mindful, and no one really talks about that. They say, well, I've been trading for a long, long time and I'm kind of stuck in it now because if I stop, I don't get any more money. So what do I do? Do I do this, do that? So the prudent thing to do, kind of digressing slightly here, is if you're making good money, is to divert it into other things as well, so that you have got other things that A, reduces that financial pressure, and B, says, well, yeah, okay, I recognize that it is just a job, but it doesn't matter so much, because if I stop, I've got these other things that have been able to come about from my trading. All right, guys, those are 7 horrible downsides to trading that no one really talks about. If you've got any, stick in the comment section below. Take care, bye-bye.